Okay, so today I'm looking at another piece by Jeffrey Harrington for toy piano. This one's called Tantrum. Um, yeah, it looks very rhythmic, kind of like the last one. Again, the engraving is not the prettiest. There's some glaring mistakes, but it's readable. This one is just, it kind of has a similar thing where it modulates between very different keys, so six flats, then two flats, then one sharp for a long time, and then back to five flats. I guess it started with five flats. Yeah, my mistake. So I know it was written in 2011, so a year earlier than the piece we looked at yesterday by the same composer. So if you're interested in the composer, I would go to yesterday's episode um, to just kind of like get his biography. I talked about that a little bit. So something I didn't notice yesterday was he has here recorded using a sound font produced by a toy piano. So that could be why yesterday's recording sounded so clean, is because it wasn't played on an actual toy piano. It was just like samples. So there is some sort of post production going on here, which is kind of betraying us a little bit. Um, but regardless, I think this would still work on the instrument. I don't think it's too crazy. Um, this one, it seems, is for three octave toy piano, whereas the one we looked at yesterday was just two octave. So this one goes from F all the way up to the high F, and it's written at pitch with two treble clefs, which I like. I think this is the best way to write toy piano stuff. So I'm going to listen to this thing. It's only 4 minutes. I encourage you to click on the link in the video description to listen to it yourself. And yeah, I'll let you know what I think. So my thoughts on this piece. I actually kind of like this one better than the one we looked at yesterday. It's more virtuosic. I think it'd be harder to get a good performance of this, but I appreciate how percussive it is and like kind of unrelenting. It really just treats the instrument as a percussion instrument, which I think is a really um, typical use of the toy piano, especially in like an ensemble or something. So I think in that sense, this is really good, like loud piano writing. Just looking at it and how the ranges of the two hands overlap, it might be kind of impossible to play, right? It just might be too uncomfortable for most people's hands. But you never know. You might have very effective performance of it where there's just the occasional dropped note. Or maybe it would be best suited for two toy pianos where one person is taking each hand, and maybe you could have a very effective performance for a toy piano duo. Um, yeah, the samples themselves are pretty good. They give you a sense of how distorted the lower register of the toy piano is, and the extreme high register. It gets kind of bell-like when you get too low, which I think works in this piece's favor. So, um, yeah, that was Tantrum. Just looking at their the description in this YouTube video, it's kind of interesting. This bio is like kind of dated, so around the time that he wrote this piece, he had moved to France because his home was threatened by a oil spill in Sanibel Island, Florida. So that's kind of interesting. Um, and then he sort of mentions that around the time that this was composed, he had four world premieres in 20 days, which is, yeah, it's nice to see people just matter of factly talking about their accomplishments, because that is an accomplishment. A lot of composers hardly have anything premiered. So, yeah, that was it for this composer. I think these are the only scores of his that I have. I think if I can find the recording, we're gonna have a look at our first Juwon Park piece. on Monday is the plan.